Hey guys, it's Nat. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I am operating off of my phone. My camera went a little wonky on me. I don't know if you noticed in the last video it was really grainy, so I got another one coming. We're going to work with what we've got. Today we are going to be making chocolate bonbons, and we're going to be making a special sweet way, as I do. I did this before, and if you've seen my popcorn bomb video, you know it turned out horribly, but in a good way. So today though, I have done extensive research, I've practiced, so now I'm gonna show you how to do it and give you some tips on how I learned how to do it. You know, it's gonna be fun. So like, subscribe, and pop me on your counter, and let's make some bonbons. Okay, so we're gonna get started. You won't be seeing much of my face in this video, but I hope that you can hear my voice. You're going to want to start off with a pot of boiling water. Once your pot gets to boiling, you're going to bring it over here. You're going to use some dark chocolate, okay? Again, you know my bougie behind, okay? We got that kind of chocolate. So we're going to take some of this chocolate. We're not going to put a whole bunch in here, and we don't want the bottom of our bowl to hit the water. You're going to want to use a glass bowl or a metal bowl for this if you want to do it in the microwave, which I'm not going to do because I've messed it up in the microwave before. But if you want to do it in the microwave, all you got to do is put it in for 30 seconds at a time, and as it is going, you just check it 30 seconds at a time. And once it's like half melted, that's when you are going to go ahead and put it in your, or you're going to go ahead and stir it. I'm so sorry. Okay. So we're going to take just a little bit because I'm not doing a lot. We're going to go ahead and wrap our towel around this bowl, around this pot, so that our bowl does not touch the water. Okay, so we're just going to do it around like that, and we want that steam to be really concentrated on the bottom of the bowl. You're going to use a thermometer. Now I have 3 different types of thermometers here. I am going to use this one because I feel like it's going to reach down in there better. Okay, so we're going to put your thermometer in your chocolate, and you're going to hold it as you stir. Okay, and we just want, again, we just want that steam to barely hit that. You see how it's starting to melt? Now that's why I'm wearing a brown apron today, because I'm doing chocolate and my messiness is well known by now. Now what happens is there's cocoa butter in here, and we want that cocoa butter to melt down and make those fat crystals. Now there's 6 different types of fat crystals. The ones we want, the first one we want is number 5, which is beta crystals. We want those to break down because the more that they break down, the more it makes that chocolate crisper whenever you melt it, okay? And we want to get it to where it's only like half melted, okay? Okay. There we go. All right. So once we know that it's like half melted, I'm not quite there yet. Now this method, any way that you temper chocolate, it's going to do milk and white chocolate as well. So that's something to remember. Now, the main thing with this, even when you do it in the microwave, is patience. You got to have patience, because if you don't temper it correctly, it's not gonna form in your shells right. So, patience, patience, patience. Just there. I'm almost to that halfway point, okay? And your arm's going to get tired. You better do this on a good arm day, when you've already done leg day, and all you need to do is work your arms a little bit. This is the way to do that. All right, you see how it's almost melted? I'm going to take that off now. We're going to put my thermometer in there, and I'm just going to stir it until it gets to be about 120 degrees. Now remember those beta crystals I was telling you about? The thing with those beta crystals is they got to get up to 120 so that when they cool, they'll give you that nice crisp. Okay, now we're not quite there. You want to make sure every bit of that chocolate is melted, okay? And you can do as much as you want because I'm going to show you how to save it too so that you can do this again. And the reheated chocolate, it's really good for if you want to write stuff out on like parchment paper and then stick it to, as a decoration, stick it to a dessert or a cake. Now, it's also important to remember you do not want any water or steam to get in your bowl. That's why I covered it on the sides too, because if steam comes around and gets in this bowl, that's the enemy of chocolate. You got to start all over. You've ruined it. This is long, so I'll probably speed it up, you know, just to show you and see what she's looking like. It's only about 93 degrees. All right, we're almost there, and it doesn't take long. Once it hits 100, it don't take long for it to get up there, okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and take her off the pot, okay? Let's put it right here. We want it to get to between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So we're going to go ahead. I don't know if y'all can see my thing. She's at about 105 right now. Okay. You want to keep stirring until it gets to that 120, 130 degree mark. Okay. All right. You got to get it up to 120 degrees. There's no way around it. If you don't, you're not going to get a proper temper. Okay. All right. You want to put it over a bowl of steam or a pot of steam. You do not want to do this over a stove top at all. Okay? You just don't. All right. Number one, you got to wrap that towel around your pot and you don't want that to catch on fire. All right. Patience. Patience is key. Y'all don't even know because I'm going to edit out all this long stuff. It takes patience. All right, we're at 109. Whew. 3. Also, another thing that you're going to do is you're letting it cool down. You're going to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And don't let it just sit here and cool. Don't put it in the fridge to get down to 89 degrees. That's the incorrect way, and your chocolate will not temper right. Do research for this. And I was watching this one lady's video when I was learning how to do this. I'm telling you, YouTube is where if you want to learn anything. I learned to quilt, crochet. I'll admit Alton Brown taught me most of my baking, but I learned to do a lot of stuff on YouTube. We are right where we need to be. So in order to make sure that we're tempered correctly, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little piece of parchment paper here. And we're just going to kind of dip it. And then we're going to give it a few minutes. And if it's hard, we're ready to go. All right, we're almost there. And it doesn't take long. Once it hits 100, it don't take long for it to get up there, okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and take her off the pot. Okay. Let's put it right here. We want it to get to between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. I don't know if y'all can see my thing. She's at about 105 right now. Okay. You want to keep stirring until it gets to that 120, 130 degree mark. Okay. All right. You got to get it up to 120 degrees. There's no way around it. If you don't, you're not going to get a proper temper. Okay? All right. Now I've put it back on the double boiler for a second because it wasn't getting hot as quick as I wanted it to. Now, I say double boiler. You want to put it over a bowl of steam or a pot of steam. You do not want to do this over a stove top at all. Okay? You just don't. All right? Number one, you got to wrap that towel around your pot, and you don't want that to catch on fire. All right. Patience is key. Y'all don't even know, because I'm going to edit out all this long stuff. It takes patience. All right, we're at 109. All right. And this ain't even the hard part. Then we got to cool it back down to about 89 degrees. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. All right, we're at 110. $110. $111. Whew. Okay, so we are there. We're going to take our bowl off the pot. Okay, now we're going to do something that's called the seeding method. Now, what the seeding method is, and that seed, as in plant a seed, is it is going to add the chocolate back, and we're going to cool it down as we're adding chocolate back, okay? Don't worry, you already know I've washed my hands, okay? Now, we're going to add chocolate in until it gets back down to 89 degrees. Now, why are we doing that? Because we got it. This already has the chocolate that you buy in the store. My light. The chocolate you buy in the store already has those beta crystals in it. And so as we cool it down and these melt in the chocolate as it's cooling down, what that's doing, it's promoting the building of those form 2 beta crystals. Okay? So we're just going to do this until she's back down to about 89 degrees. And you're just going to add them little at a time. Right now, she's at about 103. Also, another thing that you're going to do is you're letting it cool down. You're going to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Now, I told y'all I like to use a whisk, but I'm going to complete this with a spatula just because I feel like it's what I need to scoop with, and there's no use in getting a whole nother thing, a whole nother utensil dirty, you know, and I'm making a mess. All right, we're getting about 95 degrees. We're adding them a little bit at a time and letting them melt all the way down before we add any more. Okay. Lots of stirring. And no, we're not putting this back over heat, okay? We're going to make sure that it's as hot as it needs to be. And don't let it just sit here and cool. Don't put it in the fridge to get down to 89 degrees. That's the incorrect way, and your chocolate will not temper right. All right. Let's see where we are now. All right. By the time those get melted, it'll be the right temperature, I think. Y'all, let me tell you, I was trying to do research for this, And I was watching this one lady's video when I was learning how to do this. I'm telling you, YouTube is where if you want to learn anything. I learned to quilt, crochet. I'll admit Alton Brown taught me most of my baking. But I learned to do a lot of stuff on YouTube. Alright. That one's not quite melted. Let's see where we are. Alright. We are right where we need to be. So, in order to make sure that we're tempered correctly, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little piece of parchment paper here. And we're just going to kind of dip it. And then we're going to give it a few minutes. And if it's hard, we're ready to go. Okay, so I did one and I wasn't really sure how it would turn out. So we're going to see. It's showing a little bit of fingerprints. Actually, that one snapped okay. I heated it back up. You want to keep your double boiler on, by the way. Alright, let's see. That one snaps okay too. We are good to go. Now we're going to keep this because I'm going to show you what to do with it later. Okay? Because you want to only pour the chocolate when it's 89 degrees. It's at 85. So we're just going to warm it for just a second. My whisk just broke. That's what you get when you buy a whisk at Walmart, y'all. We're good to go. So you need to go ahead and take her off that heat. Okay. Alright. Now we're going to take our little... This is going to be so messy, y'all. Y'all know me. You already know what it is. Alright, we're just going to fill our little buddies here. It's all the way to the top, overflowing, because we want to make sure that we get the shell. I know it looks like a putty knife. It's actually called a chocolate knife. So we're going to use just a little bit. And then we're going to scrape over those sides. And yeah, I had a little bit go into those, didn't I? Alright. I told y'all this is going to be messy. I was supposed to hold it up while I was doing that. Alright, and as we go, we want to just scrape all that goody back into the bowl because we're going to remelt that. Alright, now we're going to give this a few minutes to coat on the sides. Probably not, knowing me. Uh-oh. Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? It's anybody's guess, really. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to make a mess. Don't worry, I'm going to go wash this stuff, y'all. So you're just going to kind of tap it. Let's make sure, see, there's a bubble right there. You see those bubbles? That's what we're trying to avoid, so that's why we're tapping. Alright, so we're going to leave her to sit. I'm going to go wash my hands. Wash your dang hands. And then we're going to make the filling while it's setting up. So to make the filling, the first thing we're going to need is a vanilla bean. Alright, so to do your vanilla bean, you're not going to cut all the way through. You're just going to cut it barely open like that, okay? Look at all those goodies in there. And just kind of peel it back just a little bit. You want it to be kind of flat, okay? Alright. Okay, and then you're just going to take your knife and start at the top. Make sure she's good and spread out. And scrape your knife along the edge, getting all that goodie out, okay? Alright, we're going to put that in there. Alright, so you got your little pot. You're going to add about a cup of heavy whipping cream. I opened it from the wrong side. Oh, Nat, you are a joy to bake with. Let me tell you. Okay, So we're just going to pour some of that in here. Okay, just about that much. All right, I don't know how much, like I said, about a cup. Because what I found when melting things that have a caramel texture is dilute it with something, then it tends to be too thick to even eat. So again, another lesson that I learned with caramels when I made the mistake and invented the popcorn bombs. I made that mistake with caramels. So we're just gonna wait for this to boil a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now that she's boiling a little, we're gonna take just a few Tootsie Rolls. This is about 10, and that vanilla flavoring. And we're gonna put them in there. And then we're just gonna stir until it's a good creamy mixture. Now, when you are done, and I did have to add a few more Tootsie Rolls, so maybe I got the heavy whipping cream off a little bit. When you're done, it's going to look like a thick chocolate syrup. No worries, it's going to harden a little bit or stiffen up a little bit so that by the time your shells are ready to be filled, it will be cool enough to fill them, okay? All you got to do is just make sure those Tootsie Rolls are completely dissolved. I have a couple that aren't dissolved, but I've turned my fire off because I just want it just melted at this point. You see how it's already starting to thicken up when I've turned the fire off? It's going to thicken out just enough for us to get it into those bonbons, okay? Alrighty. Well, we'll be back when it's time to fill them. Alright, it's cool enough to pour in our bag. You see it's pretty thick, but not thick enough it's going to run everywhere. Okay? You want to secure your bag in a cup. You want it secure. You don't want it slipping down in there because we're pouring it in, okay? So we're just going to pour it in. I'm so dang messy, man. Once we pour it in, we're going to wait for it to cool. And then after it cools, we'll do the caps, okay? All right, now, oh, I don't want that to happen. I'm going to twist the top and hope it don't come out. Now we just take our scissors and just snip enough for it to come out. Ah! All right, it's coming out pretty fast. Let me move this. So you don't want to fill it all the way up. You want to fill it up just enough that you leave room for the cap, okay? All right, but you want it cool enough to come out because it's getting thicker as it goes, and we want it to get hard inside that shell. Now you want to make sure you got enough in there without having too much. She needs just a smidge more. All right. Yeah, I just could use just a smidge more. All right. All right, and again, we want to tap because we want to make sure that filling gets all the way down in there. And then you see if you didn't get enough in there. So like this one, I'm going to add just a touch more. That one, we're going to add a touch more. I don't think this is a whole one, but just in case. All right, I think that that's enough. We're going to let this cool enough to put the caps on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chocolate. This was from all the parchment paper where I let it drip. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it over our hot water. So you're going to want to go ahead and reheat that. And we're just going to get it to the 89 degrees because we've already gotten it to the 120. So once we get it to the 89 degrees, we'll come back and we'll pour over this. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay, so now we've got our little pieces of chocolate all melted back down. Okay. Once it's about right there, take it off your double boiler. Not a double boiler, Nat, just a steamy pot of water. All right. See how she's nice and smooth? Our candies are ready to be capped. I did get some of the caramel from in between, or the fill-in from in between. So here's hoping that everything goes as it's supposed to. All right. We're just going to kind of cover them up here. We don't need very much. Okay. I hope I'm not holding my bowl in your way. Okay, just make sure you get them all over each one because we're going to spread this extra chocolate. we're going to scrape it off. Okay. And should get a good coating. All right. I'm not doing those couple because they just didn't make the cut, I guess. All right. Now let's see if I can do this right this time. Okay. All right. Let's start up here and look how pretty. Okay. Okay, we can do that. It wasn't as bad. Yay. I almost didn't do, I put off doing this video because I just knew I was going to be messy with it. So we're going to tap. Make sure we don't have any holes. I do have a little bit of a hole right here. Guess I just didn't fill it up good enough. Alright, I don't see any more holes. So we're going to let this cool. And I will come back to you and tell you, we'll show you how it went. Okay? Now, when you've used all your chocolate, you can just spread it out like this on a piece of parchment and let it dry and then crumble it up like I did before and just put it in a baggie and you can reuse it later. It's already been tempered, so all you'll have to do is heat it up to that 89 degrees, okay? So we're going to set that aside and let her dry. Now, if I did this right, these should just slip on out. Fingers crossed. Most of them did. Let's see. There we go. I did it! Oh, one broke. Oh, that was one of the doodah ones anyway. Oh my goodness, look how shiny. Hang on, I got something special for this one. All right. Y'all know that green or gold sprinkly paint that I used? We're going to give them a little pizzazz. All right. Uh-oh, that one got a little too much. Oh, look how pretty. Okay, we're going to try one. Okay, time to try the finished product. Can you see them? Look how pretty. I'm so glad I did it right this time, even if it was so super messy. All right, which one do I try? Okay, give her a try. That chocolate is perfectly tempered. And the chocolate in the middle, it's not chewy like Tootsie Rolls. It's creamy like the inside of a bonbon because we used that heavy whipping cream. So it's dried like, you know Lindor truffles? It's not quite that liquidy on the inside, but the creamy melt in your mouth taste is there. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. More chocolate all over me. It was so messy and it took so long. But my finished result was great. So, thank you for making bonbons with me today. I know it took a little while. There's a lot of patience involved. A lot of making sure you got the right temperature. But I'm just so dang tickled with how that turned out. So join me next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on all my socials at Natalie Holiday. The best way to support my channel is to like and subscribe and interact with the videos. So join me next time on Baking Me Happy. We always have fun and we get cuckoo for cocoa around here. Sorry, that was the best pun I could come up with today. It's one of those days. Anyway, well, I will see you next time. I'm so excited how these turned out. Gonna give some to the teachers, but I'm gonna eat some. You already know. All right, see you next time. Bye.